Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Angela McKay. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a webinar about insights and data even your sales reps will love. You gotta love that. And joining me, there we go, moving along. Joining me today over on, okay, I'm not sure how we're configured right now, but
I have you above me, but we can
okay,
be left
there we
or right.
go. There we go. Sarah, thank you so much for joining in today. And Sarah's going to be giving the bulk of the presentation today. We have Sarah is responsible for sales at Anewgo, and I am here with customer experience. And you know, if you follow me or if you know me, you know webinar days are my favorite days. So thanks for joining today. So we've got a quick 30 minutes, and our hope is to give you a few nuggets of information to help you sell more effectively and efficiently as we finish off 2021. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe we are heading into the last quarter of the year. I'm going to give a quick overview on a data-driven sales organization, and then Sarah's going to dig into the fun stuff and show you insights. You are all here today as you're likely all using the My Home app, whether on your website or in your model. And some of you may be using the community app in your models. But what you may not realize is that the data that is being collected from your app into another tool called Insights. And your My Home app is super powerful, and it's way more powerful than you imagine. So while your prospects are shopping on the app, Anewgo is capturing specific lead detail, which Sarah's going to show you. And your insights data is directly related to your app usage. So there's some things that you can do to encourage prospects to utilize that app a little more. And I don't know if you can read everything on this slide. I'll make sure that I send you this slide. But one is to make the app more prominent on your website and easy to find, incorporating the links into your sales process follow-up. Sending out the link to prospects prior to an appointment gives them some homework to do before the visit. And utilizing the My Home app or the community app in your models. And we even have a web hook that pushes lead detail into your CRM. So if you're not doing that yet, definitely reach out to your account manager with Anewgo and we can get you set up. So what do we mean by a data-driven organization? So sales teams shouldn't just rely on intuition to guide them through the sales process. A data-driven sales approach simply means that sales teams collect data and then use it to make more informed decisions. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And we all want to utilize the information available, but often it's scattered or there's limited visibility. And Sarah's going to show you how our Insights platform provides a visual representation of the data and provides a snapshot of a prospect stage in the buying process. So using the data and understanding it helps improve personalization, and that's something that prospects want. One of the big factors is always the handoff from OSC to on-site, and providing that snapshot of information to sales allows them to really pick up where the prospect has left off as opposed to starting from scratch. And ultimately, it builds more trust as your communication and messaging is more relevant and personalized. So before we delve into insights, you've probably seen this slide if you've been on one of our webinars, but just a quick reminder to create shortcuts on your phone for both the My Home app and Insights. And really, any tool that you use on a regular basis, it's way easier to create that shortcut than to constantly search via your browser. So if you're using Insights, there's the login for that, and your My Home app link is customized to your specific customer name. So on that note, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Sarah, and I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Angela. We are going to Let me make sure I'm going into my right screen that you guys would actually care to see. So, Angie, can you see it? I just want to make sure that the group can see what I'm sharing.
Sure
It should be
can.
insights.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So to piggyback on what Angela said, and thank you all for joining today, we have been doing a series of webinars up until this point talking about the My Home app, how to leverage the My Home app, how to increase engagement with My Home app, whether it's with your sales team or with your prospects actually logging into the My Home app. So as Angela already said, all of that data is being collected, and we've created this fantastic platform to show you the analytics about specific individuals, the aggregate pool of individuals that are shopping, and then the products specific to an individual and the products in an aggregate way, whether it's products, lots and communities, the time of day, everything. We'll be able to show you all this data that we've been collecting. And the really great thing is our app is visual. So sales and marketers, you're going to love this because you don't have to like scrunch and look at Excel spreadsheets and or depending on what you guys use, you know, the spreadsheets. These are, it's digestible information that you can have a look at, and you don't have to sort and create pivot tables and things like that. So, and I know if that's what you do. My sales team that's here watching, this is about you today and about how you all can use this, because we were saying this is data that even a salesperson can get behind. So I'm going to help you be able to use this tool, and what's it mean to you, what's the data mean, and how can you sell more homes with this data. So that's what today is all about. So with that being said, we're going to shoot our eyes to the screen that I'm sharing. This is our Insights platform and analytics platform, okay? So what I'm showing you is literally the behavior of folks that are visiting your My Home app, okay? This is not to replace Google Analytics. Google Analytics is actually giving you data about your website holistically. We are giving you specific shopping behavior that folks are doing on your My Home app, okay? So it's going to tell you how many sessions, how many visitors, how many people actually registered, how many folks are returning during this period of time. I'm looking at a start date from 9/6 to 9/23. I can also look at the last 30 days, 14 days. So let's just populate the last 30 days just to see a little bit more data here. And that just upped my 2 to 5, and now I have 176 visitors. So what I'm going to do first is just show you this main screen, because this is when you log in. But today I really want to focus on individual prospect information. We'll have additional webinars to kind of dive into other parts and components of the insights. Because we have 30 minutes today, I really want to spend time on how sales folks can use this to sell more homes or to make prospecting and conversations easier. So that's really the focus of today's webinar. So this is just to give you an overview of session trends based on date. And as you scroll over, you can see visitors, registered, returning, new visitors, and then there's an over button. You can see bounce rate and duration. So in this screen here, you're going to be able to see all of this information. Engagement rate, how many folks are visiting from community page, plan, elevation. Angela mentioned as well, some of you are using Sales Center Kiosk or our Sales Center app, which we call it the My Home app, and then we have different components inside the My Home app. So keeping that in mind when you're looking at my screen today, you may not have a site map, an interactive site map with Anewgo. You may not have interactive floor plans. Maybe you just have elevations and our color tool. So keeping all that data in mind, the more tools you use with Anewgo, the more data that we can glean based on shopping behavior, because if it's in our app, we can provide it to you. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And we also show you top communities and duration. Just know that you can look at specific communities. So you as a salesperson, if you're not working in Crowsdale Farm, you only work in Carey's Reach, I'm looking on the right-hand side, that's what matters to you, right, versus the other neighborhoods you don't look into. So as I mentioned, I'm going to pop over here because there's a lot more data that I can scroll down. But what I really want to focus on during our time today is lead insights. So here's overview reports. If I scroll down to reports, and I'll look a little bit at this before we end our call today, but I really want to focus on lead insights. So everyone, I'm looking on the left-hand side, and that's where I'm clicking, just so everyone's aware. At the very top of the page, it's showing, my time frame from, I did the last 6 months again, just to remind you. So from March 25th to September. I can also, depending on how you have your app set up, I can also look at region and cities depending on what your builder has decided how to organize the data. I can also select a specific community. So right now, I'm just looking at the whole app here. It's going to show me the last leads in the past 24 hours first and foremost. So if I'm a salesperson or an OSC, that's what matters the most, who registered in the past 24 hours, okay? As I scroll down, it's going to show me active leads. Now, just not to confuse you guys, my name is Sarah Williams. I'm also a lead in this database, so I'm going to be focused on the Sarah Williams lead here just to make it easy for you guys. But if I scroll down just a smidge here, I wanted to show you this over, like you can scroll over so you can see additional columns. So I'm going to pull back up here, and it's going to show you the day that folks registered and the last time that they've seen your app. So what we love about this, and Angela and I talk about this all the time, it's great when someone registers, but when they become a be-back on your site and in your app, that means they continue to re-engage. So for you all as sales folks, if you're using CRMs that are prompting you that someone's revisiting your website, this would be a similar type function that it's like, hey, this person's been on your site, but they also came back to your site, which should up, your attention of, hey, this person's pretty interested. Now, I just popped open, if you didn't see what I did here, I just clicked on Sarah's name. And I just opened it up to lead details, and it shows me exactly her journey. So the goal here, guys, is to see like where Sarah is at in her journey. And I'm talking about myself in the third person just for this demo here today, or this webinar. But it shows me that she's downloaded 7 brochures. She's selected 3 favorites. She's created 16 My Home pages, and she's browsed 3 of the communities for My Home Builder, okay? And then it shows, hey, she has not contacted us yet. So that's ding, ding, ding. This person's been shopping but has not contacted us. Curious why? Why would she have not contacted us? So we're going to open detailed pages, and we're going to look at a lot of different things here. So now I can dive into Sarah Williams. And again, side note, we can show you all shoppers aggregate for your neighborhood. We can drill into one individual person. So today I wanted to show you the details and the levels of details about a specific person for a number of reasons. One, if you're a salesperson and you you have a meeting with a particular person, you can search them in the analytics and insights to understand more about your prospect before you sit down with them. If you've never engaged with Sarah Williams and she has never contacted you, so see how she hasn't contacted you, now you can figure out, is this person worth my time? Is this person worth for me to reach out to? Or what should I do to try to get this person engaged and to see if, in fact, she's qualified and it makes sense to get her in for a scheduled appointment? Okay, so all this data is here to give you information. So again, engagement level, you're able to see her registration date, first and last visit. I'm on the right-hand side of this page here, showing you additional details of her average time and visit, the total duration. So she spent 6 hours and 10 minutes on your site. Now, if you've been doing this as long as me, I've been in the new home industry for over 17 years. Some of you might be 6 months, some of you might be 6 years, some of you might be 25 or 30 years. It just depends on your experience. But if you've been doing this for a good while now, you know that the story goes that people are spending time on your website before they ever pick up the phone, before they ever contact you. We know that Sarah spent 6 hours and 10 minutes, and she's never even reached out to you as a home builder. How impactful is this information for you to understand, holy smokes, this is like 6 walk-ins. If they spend an hour with you every time, that she's spending this much time, she's gathering and gathering and gathering information. And what is she looking at? What is she comparing? So again, we're going to look at data poll here, and it shows you communities viewed, floor plans, and now, as you can see, it's just telling you a number. So for me, I'm like, okay, great. She's done all of this, but like, I don't have anything to say. I don't know anything about it, but you do. Our Insights tool is going to give you all that information. So if you keep scrolling, going to give you her engagement score. She's 89. And now we get into the nitty-gritty details of what Sarah's been up to on your website. So we know she spent 6 hours, but now we know that she's really interested in your closed rec room. She likes to screen and porch. And these are the options and upgrades that she's been looking at on your again, if you're using interactive floor plans on the far left, these are details that you would understand about this particular person, okay? The double-sided fireplace, the bookshelf she selected 4 times. And I can click on this It's going to give me a second here, and it's going to show you the exact, when I said visualizations, this is what I was talking about, right? Versus seeing on a spreadsheet closed rec room and trying to figure out which closed rec room are we talking about. We actually have the visualization here. On the far right, it's giving you color schemes. And I'm going to scroll down, material selections, and then I can hit the over button just to let you guys know. You can see exactly what she's been selecting by just clicking on the different colors up at the top. So I'm just showing you how this works. So then if in fact you use our Insights tool, or if you want to learn more and see your data, that's what I'm here for. I'm happy to jump on a call to show you yours. And then she's done these shared plans. So when we are trying to figure out what we want to say to someone, if we're like, gosh, I've never talked to her because she's never reached out, I only now have this data, what can I say to Sarah, the prospect, when I call her, when I send her my next follow-up, when I'm trying to get to see if she's the right person to meet with or to schedule an appointment with? So guess what? I know she loves this woodcrest. Before we could say, I don't know what to say, that's not true, because look at all this data. Angela already mentioned at the beginning of this call, like, people want to know and only want to see like what they're interested in. So why would I send her any other floor plan besides the woodcrest in my email marketing? Maybe in my email I could say, hey, Sarah, I just thought you'd be interested in seeing this photo gallery for our newest model, the woodcrest, or this particular location, Carey's Reach, because we know she's been looking at Carey's Reach, because on the far left, it's showing me that's the neighborhood she's been visiting. The plan she's been looking at is the Woodcrest. So for me as an OSC or a sales agent, now I have some content that I'm not necessarily going to say, hey, Sarah Williams, I've been stalking you for the past 3 minutes in my Insights tool, but maybe I'm going to create a better content in my next email, send her a link to what's happening around Carey's Reach, neighborhood events, if it's like 4th of July where the fireworks are, or what's happening or what kind of amenities, and maybe it's a tour of the neighborhood. So based on all of the different things that marketing puts together for you as a salesperson, you can think, I can send her something about Carey's Reach. We've got this gallery on our website that's pretty cool. Or I have some awesome pictures of the bathroom in the Woodcrest. I'm going to send that to her in my next email or text message, or when I'm talking to her on the phone, because I now have her phone number, even though she's never reached out to me. So what I'm trying to say is, this person might not have raised their hand, but we have all this information. And if we're trying to do some marketing plans, or we're trying to see if there's a conversation there, you can send an email. How many times have you been on a site like I Shop on Pottery Barn or Amazon or fill in the blank, Wayfair? I've signed in. I get emails constantly. I haven't maybe bought anything in forever or ever, but they send me emails because they've logged in. So everybody that's on this call, these folks have logged in and shared their first name, last name, and email. Maybe they're not ready to schedule, but maybe they still want to get marketing. Maybe they still want to get emails about the Woodcrest and Carey's Reach. They want to know what's going on in your neighborhood. They don't necessarily want you to come in hot and come in and, be pounding them for that appointment, but giving them information about something that they care about is valuable to them. Okay, I hope that resonates with you. Being able to talk about something that resonates is huge. So so many salespeople over the years, when I worked in my former company, Lasso, I would get, we just don't know what to say, Sarah. Like you tell us we should follow up all these times with people, and we don't know what to say. Well, guys, whether they raised their hand and gave you their contact information, or they signed in and you're trying to engage somebody to get them to the next step, you have information now. Anewgo is providing it to you. So this is where you go. This is where you can go. So I just wanted to share that with you, that this is all information that you have. And then what's really exciting is that you can see exactly what they've actually saved. So if they're saving brochures, this is what they're favoriting, everybody. Like this, you literally have all this detail of what they favorited. Even, if you have the kitchen and bath tools, this is like literally the kitchen they've created. So again, if you have an appointment scheduled with somebody, or if you're trying to understand them more, this is the type of data you absolutely can use to have better conversations and to build that trust faster. Okay. And again, my OSCs, if you get some of this data and you want to share it with your on-site agents, this is great to send them the links and to say, hey, look at Insights. You're going to get all this information about Sarah Williams or about Joe Smith, whoever you're scheduling with. there is a lot of data in here, and you might not want to type it all out in your CRM, but your sales agents can come in here and have a look, okay? I wanted to show you where you can look people up, especially if you have an appointment, or if you're looking at somebody and you're like, hey, I wonder if Angela McKay has been in here. So you can just literally, I'm just going to use myself, Sarah Williams, and literally I just put Sarah Williams up at the top and it came up at the bottom. So you could do a search. I can search by name and email. If you guys can see where I'm at here at the top right. So if you know you're about to call someone or someone comes up in your CRM that you need to reach out to and you're just kind of at a loss of what to say, you can come in here. But again, if you're like, hey, I want to see everybody that's been visiting my site and I want to see who I should be following up with, this is the data. This is where you can come and say, all right, who's the most active? And I'm going to scroll back down and show you again. Who's the most active? Who's been last seen on our website? Who should I be maybe hyper-focusing on based on how Anewgo is rating and ranking these prospects? Okay. Other things that I wanted to show you too is if this particular person is looking at different lots, I'm going to pick Sarah again. We're going to go back and go back in. If they're looking at different lots, if they're looking at, we're going to open details here. You can absolutely talk to them about that. So this particular person, do I have their lots in here? I don't. You know, let's go into here to analytics, the reports by location. I just wanted to show you guys like this data that's in here that you can literally see all the recent plans, who is saving plans, because we can see the first name and last name, the recent favoritings. But I also wanted to show you community trends. So I mentioned we're talking specifically about leads, but then I also wanted to show you everything else that's going on in here in Insights, and then we'll spend another webinar together, like 30 minutes, to kind of dive into all of these, your floor plan trends. But what I really wanted to show you is your home sites too. Like that's what I wanted to spend this time on, is home sites. So what's most popular, what's going on. So if you're trying to engage somebody and give them like realistic information, you can say like, hey, there's a lot of traffic happening. You can tell prospects this, hey, we have a ton of activity happening on the lot that you're looking at, or, you can create urgency based on that. Heck, if you want to get crazy, depending on your policies, you can even pull this up, be like, this is what's going on. You and everybody else want that lot. So you can sell a lot faster. You can sell maybe an inventory home faster. I don't know if you really want to pull this up, but I'm making you do it. But you literally have the data at your fingertips to understand. So when we're talking about the My Home app and we're talking about having an understanding what information you all as sales folks have now to understand how
Oh, Sarah, did we just lose you or did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you for a sec. I don't know if it was just
sorry.
me or if...
Hopefully it didn't fade out. I don't know. Thank you for jumping in, though. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody else. But what I was going to say is these lots, if you see a lot that's getting a lot of activity, hasn't sold yet, or an inventory home that hasn't sold yet, maybe this is the lot that maybe you have the capability of raising some prices and dropping one that's not as popular to try to sell. So this is data, again, for you as a salesperson to be able to utilize to sell more faster. So we talked about prospects, but I also wanted to talk about lots too, because this is something that sales agents in the office or OSCs have a little bit more of a finger on the pulse of what's happening with the conversations that you all are having, but then you also see website behavior based on this data, and it'll go together, and you guys can help your team or help yourself and say, hey, here's the data. This is what's happening. I need to raise this a little bit more because I know I can sell this one, and maybe lower this, and maybe there's some ways for you guys to help the team sell a house or sell an inventory home or a lot a little bit faster. So those are different things I wanted. I always like to give you some nuggets here before, in a 30-minute period that you can take away and start utilizing. If, in fact, you have not spent time with Angela, myself, or your project manager here at Anewgo to see your own data in Insights, please reach out, because I would love the opportunity to show you your data inside of our system. And then if it makes sense, set you up in Insights so you guys can start utilizing this data. And do you have anything to add? There's so much we can talk about. Like, I can kind of go, and I just don't want to open up a whole nother topic because I know we're down to 5 minutes, but there's something in chat. I wasn't sure if there's a question. Oh, someone else we lost somebody else. Andrew, are you still there?
Yeah, I am there. I was just muted.
Okay.
And so I was,
Okay,
I just responded.
Someone else. I must have faded out and then came back. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Yeah.
No, it was only a couple of seconds. So no, it was all good.
I muted myself by accident.
I answered a question that Janice had, but I will, and we'll chat about that further.
Okay.
Just about the registration process for prospects. But no, you know what, Sarah, that was fantastic. You know what, you talk beautifully, quickly, but well, and we are at 9:26. If there aren't any other questions, we can close out the webinar. I know, Sarah, you wanted to chat about some of the next. We talked about the leads, and we talked about sales, the benefits to Insights for salespeople. But there's some additional functionality within Insights, and I think that will be part 2 and part 3.
So what you and I were talking about even leading up to this is that, today I really wanted to focus on some nuggets for sales folks on what they can do immediately in Insights and how they can use it to prep either for appointments or prospecting and what we could say. But there's so many other layers. I mean, gosh, if you're paying any attention, there's so many things I could click on the left-hand side that you can dive into data. So coming up, what I would love to do is like more of a marketing focused insights on how marketers can use the data, whether it's just gleaning information just about product, about what renderings maybe in which color schemes they should be presenting based on popularity. There's also, and we talked to Angela, you and I talked to a marketing team the other day that do a lot in estimating as well. So everybody wears so many hats, right? We have so many unicorns in this industry that can do so many things. But there's also data for, folks on the estimating and purchasing team to understand data. So if my sales and marketers are on the call, if you want to, make sure that those, when we introduce those webinars, I'd love to either for them to attend or sign up, or you can share those webinars with them. So those are going to be the upcoming webinars that we're going to talk about, specifically about Insights, because there's so many different folks on your team that can leverage this data. I would say sales and marketing is not going to use every aspect of Insights and analytics, but there's so much that they can. And then there's other departments within your organization that can glean data from other components. So I don't want to spend too much time on those today, obviously, because I wanted to present what would be the most impactful for our sales folks. So I don't think they care too much about estimating and purchasing. At least I wouldn't if I was a sales, and I was sitting on this one. So that's what's coming up. But I appreciate everybody for being here today, and hopefully you can take, it's all about just getting a nugget or two that you can start utilizing right away. And that's what today is all about.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Thanks. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.